All right, this will be your last video lecture before your midterm is due this coming Friday. So hopefully this will provide the last bit of instruction around what I'm looking to see in the midterm project, and that will hopefully prepare you to launch your pitch at the end of our class for your final project. So just by way of remembering where we've gone so far and what it is we're trying to accomplish today and for the midterm, we started by talking about the problem in our first lecture a couple of weeks ago or a couple of days ago. Then we moved over to the customer, went from there to talk about the alternative. So the problem is, what is it that your customer is experiencing that you're trying to solve for them? The customer is who is impacted by that. And your market is made up by the number of people, right, that are impacted by it. So it's the who and the how many people are impacted by this problem that you have identified. Alternatives are the ways in which people are getting that problem solved today, whether that is a self-remedy, whether it is a for-profit solution that they're paying for, whether it's a nonprofit solution or a government-provided solution. There are a variety of ways that people may be getting their problems taken care of or alleviated today. And so you want to understand those as it relates to your role in the market and what it is you're trying to accomplish. From there, we go to the solution, and that is, in fact, your solution. That's what we talked about in the last section. And it really needs to be something that's clear and specific, not just a broad sense of this is what you're trying to do or accomplish, but a very specific sense of here's what my customer is going to get for whatever they pay me to do for them. And so today we're going to talk about two things. One is benefit and the other is advantage. So you can see there on the canvas, it says under benefit, why does your customer want your product or service? And how do you solve the problem? So we've already talked a little bit about solution last time, right? How you're solving the problem last time. I really want to hone in on this idea of what does your customer get, right? Why do they want your product or service? Then we'll talk about advantage. And advantage is really around kind of what gives you as an individual entrepreneur the edge over others. And then why is your business, why does your company perform this particular task or solve this particular problem in a way that is better than how others are solving the same problem? So that's the gist of our conversation for today. Let's begin by thinking and talking about this idea of benefit. So we oftentimes think about benefits in terms of the features of the product or service that we're offering. So again, if you go back to the Genobi product that was featured in the Shark Tank clip that you hopefully watched for today's lecture, one of the benefits was the clip that goes on top of the bag, right? That clip allows the milk to be secured. It's spill proof. It's pretty secure and sturdy, doesn't come off easily, but it's also not too hard to take off, right? So it's very user friendly and it is a benefit. It is a feature of her product over and above some of the competition that's out there in the marketplace. So while features talk about the unique attributes of the product or merchandise or service itself, we really want to think about benefits, right? And benefit has to do with me, the customer, right? So what am I getting by way of a benefit or improvement in my life because I'm using this product, right? And specifically, we really want to think about benefit in terms of emotion, right? So what am I feeling? How am I connected to? How do I, emotionally feel better or connected or have my needs sort of resolved because I'm using this product, right? So if you think about the book that we're reading, he gives a number of examples in there. One of the early examples that he talked about in chapter 3 or 4 was this ranch, right? Where folks were able to come and eventually they evolved their business model, changed their business model so that folks could come and kind of spend their time there for a day or a small retreat. And it was almost sort of like this sort of escape and, be a cowboy for a day type of a thing. And really what they were selling was not horseback rides. They were selling this experience of being free and not having to be held by work or these other constraints and being able to kind of go and have this experience that they wouldn't otherwise have anywhere else. And so really they're offering this sort of emotional experience, right? They're offering this opportunity to connect in a way to be a part of this. Think about brands like Nike, right? So what is Nike selling? Well, they're selling tennis shoes, right? Like that's their product. That's the solution. They're selling athletic wear, whether it's shirts or shorts or pants or running suits or whatever the case may be. But more than that, they're selling this idea that you can conquer whatever athletic thing you're trying to conquer, right? Just do it, right? You have it within you. So they're really selling this idea that drives this emotion that says, I can be a champion, I can be a victor, I can be one who goes out and accomplishes very difficult athletic things. And oh, by the way, maybe this merchandise helps me or maybe it doesn't help me, but it reminds me that I have the ability to be a champion, right? When you think about McDonald's and their slogan, ba da ba ba ba, I'm loving it, right? It really speaks to, yes, I'm loving the product, but bigger than I'm loving the product, it's almost this idea of I'm loving life, right? I'm loving my situation. I'm loving my circumstance. I'm loving what's happening in my world. I'm loving what's going on for me. And so eating McDonald's happens to be one of the many parts of my life that I love. And so again, they're all connecting or creating this emotional connection between their product and the customer, right? The customer feels some positive emotion or experience because they are connected to this product. Another example is if you think about Hallmark, the greeting card company. I haven't seen a commercial for Hallmark in quite some time. I don't even know if they still make greeting cards. But one of their slogans used to be when you care to send, when you care enough to send the very best, right? When you care enough to send the very best. So they are evoking this emotional feeling of I want to be perceived as someone who cares about my loved ones, whoever I'm sending this card to, I want them to know that I care, right? And I want to send the best. Like I want to feel like I can afford the best, like I can select the best. I want to send the best because I feel like I need to be a part of the best. So it is playing on this idea that you are caring, you are connected, you are looking at quality, you're looking for the best because all of those things become an extension of who you are when you purchase this particular product. So when we think about benefit, we almost want to go back to where we were talking about psychographics in the second or third lecture, right? And psychographics tells us sort of, why people are motivated to do what they do, right? Why they are motivated to buy the things that they choose to buy, whether there's fear, whether there's excitement or joy or thrill or whatever the emotional connection is to the things that people want to buy. What we're trying to do when we talk about benefits is, excuse me, we want to highlight those emotional benefits and make that connection with and for the customer. But ultimately, when they think about your product, right, they're thinking about and they're connecting with their own personal sense of motivation. Think about millennials today, right? One of the things that the employment market is beginning to learn or say about millennials is that millennials want to work in job environments where the employer's values are consistent with the millennial workers' values, right? So if I am concerned about the environment or I'm concerned about some social cause or issue in the world around me as a millennial, I'm oftentimes looking for an employer who shares with me the same concerns and the same values. There is an emotional connection to the world around me that I, as a millennial, am trying to make with the place wherein I work. That's what you want to create and identify with your customer and your product. So this idea of benefits, it really is around how does your product make your customer feel? What does this product do for your customer? Does it allow them to see themselves as a caring mom who, despite being busy, is still able to provide a sufficient and pleasant meal for her family? Perhaps that's what McDonald's is connecting with when they say, ba da ba ba ba, I'm loving it. And they're connecting this idea of I'm loving it to this mother who is busy but needs to provide food for her family. So what is she loving? Is she loving the McDonald's? I don't know. Is she loving her kids? Perhaps. Is she loving the fact that she can meet the needs that her family has without being stressed or overwhelmed? It could be all of those things that McDonald's is trying to connect to, but they're creating this emotional connection that goes back to her motivation for buying this product to begin with. Okay. Nike, just do it. What is Nike connecting with, right? Well, they're connecting with athletes. They're connecting with people who are trying to accomplish something, goal-oriented people who are working hard, there's fierce competition, they're trying to be a champion. And so they're connecting to this emotional idea that I'm going to win and be the victor. I'm going to run this race. I'm going to be the best. You know what? I'm just going to do it. And so their tag phrase then becomes this phrase that connects to the emotion, this idea that the person has about him or herself. And so as you're thinking about your product, your service, right? How do you emotionally connect with your customer? What is their emotional motivation? and how does your product or service connect, tie into, or help them accomplish and feel the emotion they desire to feel by way of their own personal sense of motivation. So that's benefit in an overview. Let's shift gears and talk about advantage real quickly. And again, advantage has really two distinct points to it. The first is about you as an individual, right? So what makes you uniquely skilled or uniquely capable of bringing this solution to the problem to the marketplace, right? Have you experienced this problem? Do you have some unique skills that will help you to address this problem more effectively than someone else does? Do you have a background in education that allows you to have some information or knowledge that will help you to meet this customer's need in a way that others may not have? What allows you to be an expert, right? This is part of the reason why companies will use athletes or other famous people to endorse their product, because they believe those individuals have a sense of credibility with their target market such that the brand now gets the benefit of the extension of their personal credibility. So Michael Jordan's in a Wheaties box, not because he eats Wheaties or he likes Wheaties or he ever eats cereal at all. Perhaps he has never tasted Wheaties in his entire life, but he's on the box because General Mills understands that someone will see Michael Jordan on the box and they will relate and connect Michael Jordan's success to what is in this box. And because they then have a desire to be successful, they will consider this unique benefit, this unique advantage that Wheaties must offer if it's helping Michael Jordan or if Michael Jordan is connected to it. The same is true with every athletic wear that uses an athlete. The same is true with the General Auto Insurance that has Shaquille O'Neal. The target audience for General Auto Insurance isn't you, right? It's not young people who are, for example, in college or just getting their first car or getting their first insurance policy. It's for perhaps folks who are more senior, right? Who are looking for affordable solutions to meet their auto insurance needs. And so having a familiar face and a Shaquille O'Neal, who some could say is a washed up athlete, I wouldn't say that. But some would say that his time has come and gone, but there's still an audience from yesteryear who recognizes his face. And they may be willing, because of who he is, to invest in this item, right? So bringing it back to you and your company, what makes you uniquely situated to bring this solution to the market? Okay. Think about your own story and where it integrates with the product that you're choosing to sell. Think about the Janobie bag one more time. So the creator herself was a mom who was nursing, who needed a solution that did not exist. That is a compelling story. When she stands up and tells an audience base, hey, I'm just like you. This was the need or the problem that I was struggling with, and I could not find a solution. And then she connects in with the emotion, right? We all, as mothers, want to make sure we're providing the very best and safest milk for our children, right? That's an emotional plea. Perhaps she ties into the emotion of, I understand what it means to be a mother who is pumped and has her breast milk and she's tired and then she spills it because the bag is not secure. Boy, to tap into that frustration, that disappointment, that sense of overwhelm, perhaps all of those emotions, she's able to connect into her product in a way that her product resonates with her client base. So here we have a client or a customer or a product rather that has both a benefit that connects back to the customer from an emotional standpoint, but she also now talks about how she personally has an advantage in bringing this to market over others. Even when you think about the sharks and their responses, the first two sharks ultimately said, look, I can't be involved with this because I have no connectedness at all to this problem, to this customer, to this issue. So I cannot be of use or service here. I'm at a disadvantage when it comes to this product. So that's the first way to think about advantage. How are you uniquely positioned to bring the solution to the marketplace? The second way to think about advantage is how is your product itself or how is your company itself in a position to provide advantage over and beyond others? Well, initially for Janobie, there was no other opportunity. There was no other competition that was out there. She was creating something that simply did not exist. Well, there were storage bags, of course, but they weren't safe. So she's providing a safe alternative. They didn't stand up. She's providing a convenient alternative that is able to stand up, right? They weren't spill proof. She provides a spill proof alternative. So these are the advantages that she can describe when she's talking about her solution versus other solutions that already existed before she brought hers to the market. When she brings hers to the market and others begin to sort of copy off of what she's trying to create or has created, she can still sort of talk about the advantage of her product over other products. So the advantage really speaks now to the features of the product, where again, we said that benefit is all about the emotional connectedness that the client or the customer has to your service or to your product. But here we're talking about advantage. That is, what feature, what capability, what capacity does your product have over and beyond what the other products have as well. All right, that's it for our lecture for today. Again, I want to remind you that if you need help in preparing for your midterm, please reach out to me by Canvas rather, email, and let me know 2 or 3 times that work for you. They need to be before Thursday at 5 p.m., okay? I will not help you with this project after 5 p.m. on this coming Thursday, but send me 2 or 3 times if you want help, and we can get together before Thursday at 5 p.m. at one of those times. Let me know if you want to connect by Zoom. If so, I'll send you a link. Or if you want to connect by phone, just send me your phone number in the message that you provide to me. Hey, I hope this is helpful. Hope that you're enjoying the course so far. I feel disconnected because we're not meeting or we're not in class. But despite that, I appreciate your engagement in the writing assignments. And we look forward to maybe one day meeting you in person as well. Talk soon.